right just a notch or two below the Lord himself, okay? He's not that. He's obviously been lying about a lot of things, and this won't be the only thing. But because that, even if that were just the only thing, how could you want this man as a part of your football program?
Even if he's not portrayed, even if he portrays himself as a snake in the grass, if he does that, he's a horrible human being.
Okay, I get that, okay? But just like we said the other day, people say, what about Bobby Petrino? See, we all know what Petrino is. And so if I can live with it, if you want to hire him and like get in there, get in the weeds with him, you know what he is. There's no problem. He's been that way the whole time. At least he's been genuine. He's been real. Hugh Freeze is about as phony, as fraudulent as you can possibly be, in my opinion. I just can't imagine that guy picking up the pieces and being a coach anywhere and anybody believing anything he ever says for any reason. Now, as far as second chances go, hey, I hope he gets a job doing something else. Doing something that's not around young people, where he doesn't influence anybody. I mean, that's fine. Go be an investment banker. Go be a night manager. I don't care what you are. I don't want him coaching football anymore. I don't want. You want to go to the Pac-12 or just get out of the Southeastern Conference. We've got enough guys that have problems. We don't need Hugh Freeze in this conference anymore.
Well, Luke said Saturday, it's on tape. If Alabama hires him, he'd have a difficult time dealing with Alabama.
I have no problem standing behind that 100%. If Alabama hires Hugh Freeze, I will have a very hard time pulling for the Crimson Tide. And if Auburn hires Hugh Freeze, I can't wait to get on this program and blast him every single time I can.
Well, the sad thing is that those are probably two of the leading candidates.
Well, everybody says that. First of all, that's all conjecture.
Well, I just say that because Gus Malzahn has said over and over again, and he doesn't say this about anybody else, Hugh Freeze is one of the good guys in college football. He's one of my closest friends in the country.
But then that just tells me Gus Malzahn ought to backtrack. Now, he used to say that. Now that all this is out, I bet he isn't saying that a lot.
Well, he hadn't said it since media day, but that ain't been that long ago.
Look, his athletic director was saying he had as much integrity as anybody knew at SEC media days, and I'm pretty sure he'd like to retract that statement.
Yeah.
So look, I'm okay if Malzahn didn't know about all this, didn't know what kind of person he really was, and is sort of like, but the whole I'm his best friend thing, that's one of two things. Either you're very ignorant about what he does in his life and you aren't as close as you thought you were, or you knew what kind of person he was, and that doesn't make you a whole heck of a lot better. If you want to bring, I almost said hell of a. I'm going to go with hell of a. It's okay. Look, I almost said it. I'm just going to go with it. Turn me loose.
Well, look, and I think it's pretty much. He qualifies the statement almost when he says, "One of my best friends in this business." How close are you? You don't ever spend any time together. You see each other in passing. You talk to each other, maybe you text each other or whatever, and you maybe talk about football and things like that. But, are their families going on vacation together? I doubt it. Look, and to your point about Freeze, I saw one article, and you read it, and they actually trying to break down the timeline, and they show, like, he sent a tweet talking about, it was a Bible verse.
He couldn't wait to get home to his daughters. He couldn't
wait home and to see his daughters. And then I think it was 3 hours later.
Yeah,
he called the escort service.
That's right.
That just makes it. That's.
And again,
you're exactly right. I don't argue. I don't dispute anything you say about and what his character is, what he's portrayed himself to be, and how big of how deep in hypocrisy he lives. But I don't know.
Look, it is football, and even the scummiest of scummy people, generally, if you're good enough, will get a job, okay? Except for maybe Colin Kaepernick. And that's what's kind of funny about this is if you ask me, Hugh Freeze is a worse person than Colin Kaepernick. I don't like what Kaepernick did. I don't want him on my football team either, but he stood up for something he believed in. Hugh Freeze did something we all know is wrong. He knows is wrong. He's well aware it's not a mistake. It wasn't. I keep hearing, everybody makes mistakes and second chances. He didn't make a mistake. He was well aware of what he was doing. A mistake is when you mean to go to Channel 12 and you hit Channel 13. This guy knew what he was doing. He's what's wrong with the win at all cost society, if you ask me. And I'm very pro, just win, baby. But if Alabama needs Hugh Freeze to win, I don't want to win. And look, I was on the fence about Lane Kiffin, and Kiffin had his own personal issues to deal with. But again, you knew what Kiffin was when you got him. Okay, so it wasn't like there was any secret. I give people credit for being who they are. I mean, if you are like Lane Kiffin, hey, Kiffin is what he is, and so you appreciate it. Hugh Freeze was retweeting Joel Osteen regularly, telling people to hey, if you find something wrong with Ole Miss, then you need to have some deep prayer and deep thought and then turn it into Ole Miss compliance. And I can't wait to be with my daughters on one hand while you're tweeting with the other, or calling the number for the escort service in the other hand. There's something wrong with that man. And I just don't want him around young people. I don't think that's the kind of guy who needs to influence young people playing football. It's bottom line.
Well, again, like you say, second chances and all. And I'm a big believer. I've gotten second chances. I believe in them. So maybe, and I believe you can come back from something like this. So I'm not totally turning him off. If he can, but he needs to take some time away. He needs to, not be involved in a major program or even college football in general for at least a year. And then if he wants to come back and I could accept it then. I'll be honest with you.
Listen, I don't care how long. I don't want him coaching my football team, period, ever, end of story. But it's all irrelevant because we all feel pretty strongly that the NCAA is going to hammer them and probably hammer him. And he probably deserves it.
That's the best thing that happened, show cause for a year or two.
A year or two? He can, I'm talking a decade.
Oh, come on. That's not going to happen. You know that.
I think they could give it. I think a decade is as long as they could give somebody a show cause.
I don't think that won't even be remotely.
Look, man.
I'm not saying it's right, but that's not what's going to happen.
I know. I don't think it's going to happen either. But I'd be okay with it.
Years.
I'm really hard on this guy because he's so phony. It is so bothersome to me that this guy portrayed himself in one light, and now that now that he is seen for what he is, we hadn't heard a peep out of him. He hadn't come out and said, you know what, guys, I'm sorry. He hadn't come out with it was a mistake thing. He hadn't come out with I'm so sorry. He's just laid low. The guy who was retweeting Joel Osteen, you can't find him. It's unbelievable.
This is a guy that said at media days, I can't wait to the time where I can tell my side of the story,
Here's your time. You're not employed. Tell it all, brother.
I know.
You can go talk to anybody you want to. Ole Miss doesn't owe you any money, so you're not hurting yourself. So just get out there and tell your story. If you are anything what you think you are, tell your story. Go get on ESPN and say this is what really happened.
I see an interview with Tom Rinaldi in the offers.
You know what though? At this point, really, I don't want any interviews from him. I just feel like that's one of the bad things about sports. He just was apparently a complete phony, and it's a problem that he was coaching college football.
Bad behavior is bad behavior, whether you portray it or you accept, endorse it or celebrate it or whatever. It's still the same. So anyway, we're up against the first break. Didn't expect that avalanche, but I'm glad we go ahead and got that out of the way.
Let's vent. Now we all feel better. Kumbaya. Here we go.
If you got thoughts on it, give us a call, 256-234-6221. We'll be back with more of Sportz Blitz Live, brought to you by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air, right after this.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
It's
It's a crime to pay more than a dime at the all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every new and pre-owned vehicle, just $1 down. Plus credit amnesty. Bring home $350 a week, get up to $30,000 in credit.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime.
10 acres, 1,000 vehicles, just $1 down.
Folks, you've just got to see this place.
The all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Call 800-NEXT-RIDE.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace. Smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized easy-go kart dealer that has no limits on a perfect easy-go kart. Whether it's a fully customized kart or a stock-made kart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online for the best easy-go karts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you until 9 o'clock, brought to you by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. This segment, of course, brought to you by Bice Motors. All the good cars out there at Bice.
Were you looking at me for confirmation? Yeah, I mean, that's...
You're a big Bice guy, right?
I mean, I know him. I like him. He sells good cars. But, I mean, you looked at me like, we are still brought to you by Bice, right? Yeah, good job.
You usually have some good little tagline. I don't know. You're not good
buy it at Bice or they'll pay you the difference twice or something. Isn't that right?
That's right. We're going to start our Arkansas preview in this segment. And in the next segment, we've got a surprise guest. Surprise guest. Don't want to miss that. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but if you're an Alabama fan, you don't want to miss it.
If you're an Alabama fan,
if you're an Auburn fan, turn the channel.
And if you're an Alabama fan, especially between the years of about 1991 or 92, 91 to 93, 94-ish.
I think that's right.
That's a good.
Sounds good.
You will want to hang out.
Absolutely. So the Arkansas Razorbacks, coached by Brett Bielema, 5th year. Can you believe that? Seems like he hasn't been there quite that long. 25-26.
Well, he walked into a hornet's nest, okay, first of all.
That's true.
I think people don't give him enough credit for that. He walked into whatever Petrino left behind, and then there was another sad wake of John L. Smith involved in there somewhere. So, yeah, it was bad. And
3-9 his first year.
Yeah, but that team was putrid. And they were also going through a complete identity crisis. And what I remember about it most is that when John L. Smith was coach, and he was the interim coach, I guess. They lost to Alabama 52-0 at home, and then Brett Bielema comes in. They lose to 52-0 to Alabama on the road. So, I mean, I'm like, okay, at least he hadn't gotten worse. But I think Arkansas, for the longest time, has had an identity of a running team and pretty physical. And look, they did play Alabama very closely a couple years ago in Fayetteville. It was a 14-13 game, and they can be moderately dangerous. They're not going to be great. They were on.
That's what I'd like to be known as, moderately dangerous.
But I mean, what are you going to do when you're in a conference with LSU and Alabama and Auburn and Georgia and Florida and I was going to say Tennessee. I'm going to leave them out for right now. And in Texas A&M, a team you can't beat right now, a team with a lot more resources than you have. Frankly, I think just about every team in the league has more resources than Arkansas does. You have practically no recruiting base in your home, right? It's an uphill battle, man. But I like watching Arkansas play. Their game against Texas Tech was on the other night. And I found myself enjoying this game because Arkansas is going to run it at you generally, at least then they were. And they're going to tell you they're running, and sometimes you can't stop it. I mean, and Texas Tech couldn't stop it. They can't stop a lot of teams. But what's funny is, I was talking to you about off air, Austin Allen is the SEC's leading returning passer with 3,430 yards. But that is the worst passing leader in the SEC since 2005. So it tells me that the quarterback play last year was just as bad as we thought it was in the league. And it also tells me maybe Arkansas has gotten away from what they are.
164 yards a game rushing. That is not a running team.
That's not going to get it done in Arkansas. That's just not what they do. They are a running team. They need to run. That's their identity. And I think they got away from that too much last year. And so it'll be interesting to see if they go back to it, especially with Raleigh Williams announcing his retirement. And, you know, I don't know if you saw the article today. I posted it on the Sportz Blitz Live Facebook page. But there was a study done of, I think, 110 former football players. 99% of them had CTE. So signs of concussions, etc. So I think that didn't spell trouble or the death of the sport or anything, but it just ties in with Raleigh Williams and his retirement, you know, to me.
Yeah, he retired because of neck injury, though, right?
Well, he got hurt in the spring game. Yeah, and I think he just said, yeah, I don't want to be in a bad place when I'm older. And I understand that. My perspective on it is football can give you generational money if you're good enough. Even if you're not good enough, sometimes you can make, if you're in the league 4, 5, 6 years, you can have really doggone good money. And for me, it's worth the risk. I mean, would I shave a few good years off the backside of my life if I could have generational money and change my family? I probably would. But I also understand why some people don't look at it that way. I'm not saying people who wouldn't do that are selfish. It's just a different perspective. I personally, if you told me I was good enough and I could be in the NFL 6 years, but it's going to cost me 3 healthy years on the backside of my life, that I would make that trade. That's me. Other people, maybe not so much. But I'll say this too. I always like to say I'm kind of related to Leroy Jordan, kind of in there, like an aunt and then the aunt's sister, but not by blood, and on down the line, and we're kind of related. Leroy Jordan's had a couple of, nobody's been under more tough circumstances than Leroy Jordan, playing in Alabama all those years, playing for the Cowboys all those years, and he's had a couple of knee replacements, I believe. But, I don't know that he traded anything. I mean, he had a good career. He's in the Ring of Fame. He's won national championships. I'm sure it's tough for him. I didn't talk to him about it a lot, but I'm sure it's tough to walk. I'm sure he's had some issues. But would he trade all that? I mean, it's one of those weird questions because you hate to answer either way sometimes.
Most football players that are asked that question say, absolutely, I'd do it all again.
Yeah.
I mean, so it like you said, it's not going to change the sport. Even if they come out and somebody stands up and says definitively, if you play football, you're going to have brain damage.
Right.
I mean, people will go, okay. I think that's just kind of the way it is. But I would imagine parents, as we move forward over the next decades, will just start pushing their kids into baseball and basketball more than football.
Well, the catch is they don't need as many players in basketball. You don't need as many players in baseball. You got 52 on a roster in football.
I am aware.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Or maybe football becomes a punting league.
But you get paid to play minor league.
Yeah, but not enough generational money.
Well, not generational, but I mean, you can make a decent living. I mean, you can make $100,000 a year.
Yeah, but that's not where. Hey, look, here's the thing. You probably won't get to the point of making $100,000 a year for a lot because if you don't improve, they're going to ship you out.
Probably so.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, you still got to perform,
yeah.
and you still want that guaranteed money.
But only the elite get that.
That's right.
That's that's the other rub. But I don't know how we got to talking about that. This is Arkansas.
Yeah.
Dan Enos, the offensive coordinator, his third year. Paul Rhodes moves over from defensive back coach. He spent a year at Auburn as defensive coordinator. Actually did a good job in 2008. Auburn had a terrible team, but the defense was the best thing about it. As you mentioned, you know, it kind of planed out here. Bielema goes 3-9 his first year, but 7-6, big improvement in year two. 8-5 in 2015, back to 7-6-ish last year. You go down through the schedule, they just cannot seem to handle Texas A&M. No chance against Alabama. Beat Ole Miss twice though. I don't know. Still don't quite know what happened against Auburn. That was just
last year.
Yes,
it was one of those.
56-3.
It really was just that was a perfect storm for Auburn. I think that again, what I say every year is a team plays its best 2, maybe 3 times a year. It has an off game 1, maybe 2 times a year. And if you're having an off game and another team's playing their best, something bad can happen. And I think that's what happened with Arkansas. They just went in there. I mean, they were completely out of the game from the jump. And Auburn was pretty hype, and it just turned out that way. I don't think if those two teams played each other 10 times, I mean, I think Auburn would win more. But I also don't think the score is going to be 56-3. Was that the final?
That was the final.
So
the next week they turn around and beat Florida 31-10.
Yeah, I think that also was kind of a testament to what the league was last year.
Yeah.
And so, look, I like Bielema. I think he's a good fit for that program. I think Arkansas would be foolish if he has a 7-6 year to even think about changing coaches. Where are you going to go? Again, it doesn't look like right now Nick Saban's leaving within the next 4 or 5 years, okay? LSU, if they don't do well under Orgeron this year, they're going to get somebody. And whoever they get, they're going to outbid you for. So if you go head-to-head with LSU for a coach, you're going to lose that battle. A&M, same difference. If you go head-to-head for A&M for a coach, you're going to lose that battle, okay? Same thing with Auburn. If you go head-to-head for either Gus Malzahn's going to get his team better or Gus Malzahn's going to be gone. Either way, it's bad for Arkansas, because Arkansas can't go head-to-head with Auburn in terms of we both want the same guy. That guy's going to go to Auburn every time.
Gus may end up in Arkansas.
Now, that would be kind of funny. You know what, though? I think Gus would actually be a good fit for Arkansas.
I think he would probably, too.
If he was allowed to do, if he does what he wants. But anyway, I like this Arkansas team. I think that they're going to have problems, but against Alabama, against Auburn, against LSU. Maybe not so much against LSU. They've had some pretty good success against LSU. They always catch them at a good time. Against A&M, they also got TCU at home this year, I believe. Who is their other? Do they have South Carolina as their Eastern?
Yes. At South Carolina.
And what's their other?
Missouri.
So they've got South Carolina, Missouri. That's about as good of a draw from the East as you could hope for. So, I mean, I see a 7-6 type year coming from them.
We're going to go ahead and take another break. When we come back,
special
we
guest?
may have a special guest. Don't want to miss that. More to come right after this.
If you've ever wanted a Lexus, now is your opportunity at the Reinhardt Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. The time of the year to get savings on the Lexus you want. With extra inventory, the selection is better than ever on the most popular models. Save thousands with low monthly payments and special financing. Get 0% APR on the ES for 60 months. At Reinhardt Lexus, an opportunity like this only knocks once a year. So find your Lexus today at Reinhardt Lexus, where you'll feel like family.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Relief has a new address in Alexander City. Main Street Family Urgent Care is now open across from Walmart on Highway 280. From cuts, broken bones, strep throat, and flu, they can help you heal and feel better fast. Open 8 to 8 Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 on Saturday, and 1 to 6 on Sunday.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
TPE Power Equipment is now the trusted name for all your mower and power equipment needs. Whether it's our original Tallahassee location or Opelika location on Fredericks Road, we've got East Alabama covered with the best brands of mowers and power equipment from Husqvarna, Toro, Kawasaki, Echo, and Honda. Right now, get commercial strength Husqvarna zero-turn mowers with our fleet program that offers deep discounts, easy finance, and bonus handheld equipment in one solid package. TPE of Opelika and Tallahassee are the new standard of everything power equipment in East Alabama.
Homeowners all over Alabama have discovered that when you need your flooring clean, whether it's carpet, upholstery, or any manner of hard surfaces, there's no clean like Peaches and Clean. Serving Auburn, the Chattahoochee Valley, Montgomery, Birmingham, and the Lake Martin area. Call 866-837-6937, 866-837-6937, or visit peachesandclean.com. Caring for your floor and a whole lot more.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
Heads up, we're going back to 77. Disco, bell-bottoms, and Ford F-Series starts its epic run as the best-selling trucks in America. Fast forward to 2017, F-Series is still king for 40 straight years. How? Rock-solid durability, up-to-the nanosecond technology, and jaw-dropping capability. No wonder the competition hasn't been number one since these. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 40 straight years.
Bucks Island is one of the oldest boat dealers in Alabama, serving boaters since 1948 with the largest boat showroom in the state. Bass boats featuring Skeeter, cruisers and sport boats featuring Monterey, pontoons featuring Crest, G3, and Voyagers, powered by Mercury and Yamaha. Bucks Island has sold over 10,000 boats, and with a full service and parts and accessories department to keep your boat in top condition. Don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Visit Bucks Island on Highway 77 in Southside or online at bucksisland.com. Give them a call at 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island, where our number one product is customer satisfaction. This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. Got a special guest on the phone now. I'll let Luke introduce him.
I'm really excited about this. This guy was at Alabama the exact same time I was. I got to see him up close and personal several times, go to a lot of games with this guy. He was an absolute superstar, one of my favorite players of all time, David the Deuce Palmer. How you doing, David?
I'm doing great. How you doing, man?
Thanks so much for being with us. First and foremost, I got to talk about your playing days at Alabama. When you signed with Alabama, it was really just a fantastic day. I was one of the few recruitniks that I knew back then, and I knew your signature was such a big deal, and just watching you play was a joy, and I really did enjoy your time there. Talk about some of the great memories you have from Alabama, your years there at the Capstone.
Man, there's so many memories down there that I had down there. Got a chance to do a lot of things. Got a chance to play almost every position I played in high school, so it was it felt so wonderful to me that I was able to still do the same things I was able to do in high school. The only thing I didn't get a chance to do was play on the defensive side. But if I'd have stayed my last year, I think Coach Stallings would have allowed me to play defensive back.
Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think about what if I'd stayed just one more year? Because that team after you left was undefeated and only lost by 1 point to Florida in the SEC title game. You might have been the difference.
Yes, me and the guys that I came in with, that was my senior class. Me and the guys that came in with, we talk about it all the time. Actually, we talk about it, and we thought we would have been a two-time champion if I'd have stayed my senior year.
They're showing some highlights right now as we're talking, and maybe the game people remember you most for is your performance against Tennessee. Ironically, it just led to a tie, which is generally a forgettable thing. But at the time, tying Tennessee and keeping that undefeated streak against them was something great.
Yes, it was. At that time, the rivalry between Alabama and Tennessee was just like Alabama and Auburn.
Yeah, it certainly was. And I'll tell you, look, these highlights that we're watching are great, a lot of big-time punt returns, etc. But I tell people that if they ever get a chance to see your highlights from Jackson Olin, that might have been the best highlight tape I have ever seen from a high school player.
Oh, you got a chance to see my high school highlight tape?
Oh, I remember it well. I remember when you committed, and Rick Carley, who was with Channel 6 at the time, he put up some of your highlight tapes. And this was before YouTube, really before the internet, if I remember right. And it was just phenomenal. I remember one play in particular where I think you had returned a punt, and you were going down the sideline, and another player had a beeline for you, and you stopped. You were going full speed, and you stopped on a dime, and the guy just went zooming right by you out of bounds, and then you walked into the end zone from 5 yards out.
Yeah, actually, I was at the quarterback position at that time. I still remember the play.
Who were you playing?
Quarterback. We was playing Bibb County. We were playing Bibb County at Legion Field.
That's what I knew. I remember it being at Legion Field, and I remember seeing that play and thinking, okay, whatever it takes, that highlight alone, I want this guy on my team.
Yes, I was at quarterback, and it was raining that night, you know, and the rain helped me with that move. I was able to stop and slide a little bit, and the guy went right in front of me. Didn't touch me. Actually, at the same time, I was tie-facing the guy while I was putting that move on that guy. So, yeah, it was an awesome play. It was one of the biggest highlights of my career. Besides the Tennessee game.
Yeah, and maybe another game that stands out to me at least is the Colorado Blockbuster Bowl, where you had a punt return for a touchdown. And during that touchdown, I remember very vividly, you made one Colorado guy do the splits. And I don't know if his hamstring is recovered yet.
Yes, I had been working on that move. I stole that move from Saran Stacy, man. Saran, before he had got hurt, man, he was a tremendous ball player, and he also, when he came back off his injury, he was terrific. But I stole that move from Saran. I had been watching him the year before when I was in high school, and I watched him do that against LSU. So I worked on it, and I think I mastered it that game.
That was also the game where you had about 5 guys converge on you at one time as you were playing the Wildcat position, and somehow, some way, you got out of there. And I still, to this day, don't know how you did it, but it really was fun watching you play. I guess, do you ever look at Alabama now and think about the times maybe that Lane Kiffin's been the offensive coordinator, and now with Brian Dabble at the offensive coordinator helm, do you ever wonder what it would have been like to play for a guy who's a little more wide open?
Well, you know, I'll do a lot of these shows like that, and that question has been asked a whole lot. How I feel about if Lane Kiffin was my coach instead of offensive coordinator instead of Mal. Yes, the game is played a lot different now than it was when I was playing. Everything was so traditional, you know, everything was smash mouth, and today, you know, kids they're having fun. You know, the coaches have open minds, and they try anything. So Hey, man, I can't tell you, how much success I would have had, but I think I would have had more success than I had at Alabama.
And that punt return against Miami, you had a big, long return. Did you think you were going to score?
Man, and I'm still kicking myself in the tail about that. That should have been a touchdown, but I think me not scoring that touchdown, but it did give our team a big boost and gave us opportunity and let us know that we could play with those guys. Our defense was, on that first series, our defense was tremendous. They didn't hardly move the ball. I think they was 3 and out for the first 4 series. And so, hey, man, I think that gave us a big boost, but I think I should have ran that back for a touchdown. I was very disappointed in myself.
It was definitely close. There's no doubt about it. Have you watched some of the other Alabama players who have been compared to you, like Tyrone Prothro or Javi Arenas, and really just had a smile on your face knowing that they're trying to emulate you?
Yes, I don't know if they would emulate me, but those guys got a chance to watch me play at Alabama. So most of them probably did emulate that game after me. And Tyrone, me and him got a chance to share some time together, and he told me his story. He played all the different positions that I played in high school, and also he wore number 2 in high school. So, hey, I think he watched a lot of film on me also, and he was a great talent, and I think he was the closest thing to me. And I'm sad that the accident that he had in the college, he didn't get a chance to show his true talent.
There's no doubt about it. It's one of the saddest things I've ever seen. But let's talk about this camp that you have coming up that you're going to be a part of. Tell everybody what it is and who all is going to be involved.
Well, I just know myself and Brad Ford and Mr. Hutton are some of the guys that's going to be running the camp, helping out with the kids. We're just basically showing the kids the fundamental of football and showing them some of the things that God had blessed me with, and to show them the skills that I had.
And you were coaching at Huffman High School, and this next year, though, you're going to be somewhere new.
Yes, I'm going to be at coaching at GU Prep, Elite Prep Academy down in Tuscaloosa at Stillman College.
And this is a brand new school that the Good family has obviously been involved with.
Yes. This is their first year. They're coming into the program, so I think it's going to be a good experience for us all, and I think it's a great opportunity for kids that they can get a chance to go to Division I or any school because of their grades or what so I think it's going to be a golden opportunity for both of the kids and us.
I'm seeing some more highlights of you as we're talking, and I'm wondering, some of the kids you're coaching, some of the kids, let's say, for instance, last year from Huffman, they weren't even born, obviously, when you were playing in Alabama. Do they know about you and how elusive you were?
I actually, after the first day or two, they're hearing the coaching staff talking about me and everything. They go home and tell their parents, "Oh, David Palmer out coaching." So then they get the news from their parents how awesome I was in college.
Oh, David, man, it's been an absolute joy, and thank you so much for helping out all the young people like you do, and really, you're one of my favorite players that's ever played at Alabama, and I've been following the Crimson Tide for quite some time, and you were just a phenomenal player, and really enjoyed watching you play.
Thank you very much, sir.
Have a great night, okay?
Thanks for having me.
That was David Palmer, I'm telling you. Look, not short on confidence.
No.
Never was. But
their parents told them how awesome I am.
But, let me tell you something. When he was, 5'7", 100 and, he'll probably say 165 pounds.
Yeah,
if he was 150, he had 2 20-pound weights on him. Yeah. And all he did was go out there and make people miss him all the time. And he played, it really is sort of a shame that his highlight tape isn't longer. But people don't understand, he didn't get the ball as much as he needed to. Stallings did his thing. Now, Stallings was very successful, but if David Palmer played for Lane Kiffin, he'd have won. They would have made a giant-size Heisman for him. It would have been remarkable. He was just incredible to watch. I remember being in the stands thinking that guy isn't right. He isn't normal. And it's just, and I've seen some freakish athletes in this Saban era, but David Palmer, Prothro, and Javier Arenas and Derek Thomas are still maybe the 4 best players I've seen at Alabama.
I wouldn't disagree with you. Up against a break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
If you've been putting off that new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems with 0 down, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote in terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work with approved credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for 0 down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
When enjoying the lake this season, make sure to drop by Harbor Point Marina for all your gas, snacks, boating supplies, and beverage needs. Harbor Point also wants you to come see our remaining 2017 Crest pontoons, priced to move at all-season pricing. Harbor Point Crest sales have been tremendous, and they're ready to unload their remaining 2017 Crest Tri-Tunes to make way for the 2018 order. Come see the best in pontoons at our 2017 season closeout prices. Act now because inventory is limited, and enjoy your new Crest pontoon this year. For all your own water needs and sacrifice pricing on Crest pontoons, get to the point. Harbor Point at Still Waters on Lake Martin.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
Advantage is defined as a favorable or desirable circumstance or feature, a benefit, and that's just what you'll get with the Gills Auto Sales 5-Star Advantage. Gills Worry-Free Guarantee, a 30-month, 30,000-mile warranty on every vehicle. Specialized maintenance from the area's top technicians and free oil changes with each purchase. Flexible financing to fit any budget or credit situation. Convenience with 6 locations offering quick and easy approvals. And selection, the area's volume leader with over 400 vehicles in stock. There's only one place to get the 5-Star Advantage, and that's only at Gills.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your expressway to saving.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace. Smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you until 9 o'clock. David Palmer, appreciate him calling in, appreciate him and being involved in these youth camps. The bunch of Auburn players were up here, a couple of weeks ago. Scott interviewed them. They're involved in this kind of thing. And you see more and more of that as these guys are getting involved, giving back, and understanding better and better the position that they're in and the gift, really, that it is to play college football. So that's a good thing to see.
And, the other thing that I love about Palmer, did you ever notice he had those big shoulder pads, too? I mean, everybody wore them. Now everybody's trying to get smaller shoulder pads, it seems like. But it was just a different look, a different time. And
giant thigh pads.
Yeah, giant thigh pads, all that stuff. And, man, Palmer was just I can't not talk about Palmer without a smile on my face. I just think he's one of the most fun players I've ever watched play football. Now, yeah, I think Amari Cooper and Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley even are probably better wide receivers. But as far as just football players, I don't know, man. David Palmer, pound for pound, maybe the best football player I've ever seen. I mean, now he's only about $130, but he was just untouchable when he wanted to be. And like I said, and he talked about it, his high school highlight tape was better than his Alabama tape. And in high school, they had more highlights because it was just, we're going to give the ball to David Palmer and y'all try and see what y'all can do with it. And they never could do anything with it.
Smear number 2,
Yeah.
Well, again, we appreciate him giving us a call. That was
And he started
fun.
the deuce craze. Everybody does deuce whenever somebody has the ball now. He started that. And look, he's not the most humble person we've ever interviewed, but if I was David Palmer, I wouldn't be humble either. I'll go ahead and put that out there.
All right, we'll go back to Arkansas a little bit.
Let's do it.
Okay. They lose a lot offensively. Austin Allen is coming back. You referenced him, but Raleigh Williams, he had 1,360 yards rushing last year. He's retired or
but the
resigned
backup is not
or however
bad.
you want. Whaley, 600 yards though.
Okay, but he's a good player. Well, if you got somebody with 1,300,
I get it.
You know what I mean? If you got somebody with 1,350,
But who you got behind him?
Okay,
that's
then
the point.
It may be a problem then.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I just solved one problem.
But Drew Morgan, leading receiver, gone. Keon Hatcher, gone. Jeremy Sprinkle, tight end, gone.
That hurts the most of all that you've said.
Dominic Reed, gone. Jared Cornelius, really the only wide receiver that caught any passes last year, coming back. Defensively, they lose their leading tackler, Brooks Ellis. Dietrich Wise, Jeremiah Ledbetter, Taiwan Johnson, all led the team in tackles for loss and sacks. So a lot to replace, not a lot coming back for a team that didn't rush the ball well at all. Pass efficiency was really, really good. Austin Allen was, like you said, led the SEC in passing. But defense was mediocre to bad in most all the stats. I guess you look at it one of two ways. I mean, you lost a lot. Maybe that's a good thing. But, I mean, most people don't look at that when you lose your leading statistical leaders. That's redundant.
That didn't flow off the
tongue. That didn't flow. But
look,
it's tough. It's going to be tough for Arkansas is what I'm saying.
Arkansas is what it is, okay? I mean, nobody's picking Arkansas to win the league. Nobody's picking Arkansas to win the West. Nobody's picking Arkansas to finish second in the West, or probably even third in the West. Fourth is probably their ceiling.
Didn't the media pick them above A&M?
I think they picked them fourth. Yeah. I mean, look,
you got to
like
beat
Bielema.
A&M to do that.
Yeah, I like Bielema. I think he's a good coach, and I think he's in the right spot. I think he's in the SEC West at the absolute wrong time. Arkansas already, if all things were equal, if Alabama had Mike Shula and Auburn were on the back end of the Tuberville days or the back end of the Chiswick days, it would still be tough for Arkansas. They don't have an easy path to Atlanta. The West is too hard. So Arkansas is always going to be the middle of the pack team. I think they've made it to 2 SEC title games, right?
Yes.
But I mean, a lot of good things had to happen.
Should have made it to the one in '98 if Clint Sterner just doesn't drop the ball.
Yeah.
They could have won a national title that year. I really believe.
Well, but again, that kind of goes back to you are what you are, right? I mean,
but that was even bizarre for them.
At the same time, they should have had an extra loss when they backflipped it to Hunter Henry backflipped it. So, I mean, those things tend to equal each other out. Arkansas is not going to be a national championship contender. And I think they've got a good coach in Brett Bielema. And if I were them, I would hold on to him and hope for the best.
Well, that leads me into the true false. Brett Bielema is the right man for the job at Arkansas.
True. Yeah. If he's not the right man, who is the right man?
Well, if he goes 5-7, he's going to be the man out of a job.
There's no question about that, too.
Fill in the blank. The most important game on the schedule for Arkansas is blank.
I'm going to have it a tie between Texas A&M and Auburn. I think they have to prove that they can beat A&M somewhere, some way, somehow. And if they lose to Gus Malzahn again, I think they're going to have a hard time swallowing that, the Arkansas fan base. I think they've had enough of that. And look, they took 4 overtimes and a lot of drop passes for them to beat Auburn the one time they did 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up, though. You got any thoughts you'd
But
like to have in my way?
look, point being, I hate it when people say, they didn't win, we lost the game. But I think that was one of the cases where you could say Auburn probably lost that game.
Yeah, you probably could. Over under 180 yards rushing per game.
Over. I think they've learned their lesson. I think they're going to go back to what is best for them, and that's running the ball. And if they can't get over 180 yards per game, I think they're in a lot of trouble.
Remember that. This is how they always were to start those seasons. We're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. And then they find themselves losing to bad teams out of conference, and they say, we got to throw the ball. We got to throw the ball. Well, and that's kind of how they've gotten in this mess.
But I think
you have to do what works ultimately.
Well, but you also have to play defense.
Well, this is true.
So, and I think that's has been a big issue as them for anything.
What's the chances Austin Allen leads the SEC in passing this year?
0%. You got Shea Patterson, who's going to have to throw it all over the field. You got Jalen Hurts, the returning SEC Player of the Year. You've got Jarrett Stidham at Auburn, who's going to do some nice things in their passing games. Can't do any worse. You've got Jake Bentley at South Carolina. You got somebody at Florida who's going to be throwing to some really good wide receivers. You got Jacob Eason at Georgia. Look, there is no chance this Nick Fitzgerald, I didn't throw him out there. There's a 0.0% chance that Austin Allen leads the league in passing yardage again.
All right, I got two here.
Yeah.
You can answer whichever one or both. What's the word for Brett Bielema's future in Fayetteville?
I'm going to say secure because I believe that he should be. Everybody else may say it's foggy.
I'm going to say tenuous.
Okay.
What's the word for Brett Bielema's physique?
I'm going to say bloated.
I'm going to say doughy.
Doughy. I like your word better.
Future. What will Arkansas's record be in 2017?
I'm going to say 7-6/8-5.
Oh,
can I?
If they get to 8, I'll be impressed.
Well, very quickly, they open with a.
Well, think about Florida A&M. That's a win.
That's a win.
TCU, they split.
Home, they got
to win that game.
They got to win them.
Texas A&M, they have lost every. I mean, I don't know how you can. Count
maybe it's a swing game.
New Mexico State's a win.
There's 3.
Here's the one at South Carolina. If they win that game, they'll win 8. They got a chance to win.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
At Alabama, loss. Auburn, I'm going to call a loss, but they could win that game. At Ole Miss.
That's a win. There's 4.
Coastal Carolina.
That's 5.
Lost at LSU. At LSU.
I'm going to say they have a
decent chance.
A pretty good chance at winning that game.
State at home. Chance.
Yeah. I'm seeing 4 or 5 iffy games, and if they can just win 2 or 3 of those, there's my 7-6-8-5.
Missouri, yeah, Missouri.
Oh, they're beating Missouri.
They didn't
Missouri is going to be bad. Okay, no, but they get Missouri at home this year. I don't care where you play Missouri this year. You're beating Missouri. They're not.
Think so?
They're not going to be that good. I know they got Drew Lock.
I think they're going to be as good as Arkansas.
The whole university, by all accounts, is still kind of being held together with duct tape and safety pins. So I feel like the football team is going to be a representative of that.
I can see that.
Okay.
I'll buy that. If they get to 8 wins, though, I'll be very.
You're talking about Arkansas?
Impressed. Yeah.
Missouri.
If Missouri gets to 8 wins, Barry Evans is Coach of the Year.
If Missouri gets to 8 wins, we have played 2017, 2018, and 2019 seasons. I'm down on Missouri.
You're down on Missouri and Hugh Freeze. Missouri's right.
You know what? That would be good. If Hugh Freeze went to coach Missouri, I think then that would sufficiently that would lap me over beyond being really mad back into okay, I can see where this thing's going.
Up against the break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll look at the South Carolina Gamecocks. Don't want to miss it. More to come right after this.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
At US AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, US AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else. Craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the US AmeriBank difference. US AmeriBank. Banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Jewelry by Design is Auburn's premier jeweler for over 20 years. Mark and Tammy Nelson invite you to see their unique selection of engagement rings, each crafted to be a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, custom designed with only natural premium diamonds that are never enhanced. Jewelry by Design is also your officially licensed Auburn University jeweler that handcrafts all of their Auburn jewelry as unique as your passion for the Auburn Tigers. For jewelry that's crafted to your style, visit Jewelry by Design on Dean Road in Auburn or online at jewelrybydesignauburn.com.
If you had $6,000, how would you spend it?
I'd pay bills.
How about a new car? Vacation!
At Hyundai of Auburn today, you can get the new car and do the other things.
What? How?
Pick out your dream car and drive away with as much as $6,000 to spend however you'd like.
America's best warranty and $6,000?
Luxury and $6,000.
Be thinking how to spend your $6,000. HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Vacation!
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life. Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Wow.
It'll sneak up on you.
It will. It's like a chalupa. I mean, that was wild. He comes in here and he's got Taco Bell. We don't know where he got it from. And then he said, okay, he just walked out the door and I was thinking, we got a second for me to gather myself.
The only thing better than a David Palmer interview is a double chalupa. I'm going to tell you what. Well, we promised to go into South Carolina preview. We will do that now. Will Muschamp in his second year. Kurt Roper, he brings him over from Florida days. In his second year as well. They have actually got co-offensive coordinators. That always works out well.
Oh, God, that's so...
Brian McClendon.
Why do we keep doing it? Why do people keep doing it? And co-starting quarterbacks.
I don't know. It's the stupidest. People think they can reinvent the wheel.
It's like having co-wives. It's just not going to work out well.
So ask Hugh Freeze. Travaris Robinson, second year. He's done a good job. He did a good job at Auburn. I always really appreciated him. A really great player, kind of reinvented himself at a safety. Yeah, absolutely, very good. South Carolina, hard to believe, those 3 straight 11-win seasons, 11, 12, and 13. But then things obviously have gone south. Steve Spurrier at the end of his career, he goes 7-6 and 14, 3-9 at least halfway through that season, 2015. But Will Muschamp, I thought, did an admirable job last year. Got him to 6-6, went to a bowl game. We're not be able to. Lost that one in overtime to South Florida. So they end up 6-7, but again, you go back, it's much like the Vanderbilt when we looked at them. A lot of winnable games that South Carolina could not score. And about midway through the season, they lose to Georgia in just a horrific game offensively. Georgia was awful in that game as well. Somehow in the world, they scored 28 points, but they have an off week. Muschamp makes the decision. We're going to pull the red shirt off Jake Bentley. We're going to put him in the game. And
they almost beat Florida?
They almost beat Florida. But he comes out against UMass, and the defense gives up 28 points, but they scored 34. That's what they're they couldn't score, and that kind of changed throughout the season. They beat Tennessee. They go on a 3-game winning streak. UMass, Tennessee, Missouri. Play Florida pretty well in Gainesville. Lose to Clemson pretty bad. And I think, who was it that said that, it was Jake Bentley, I think, that said that they were not, it was not that close. They were a lot closer than that score indicated, which probably that's true. I don't think they're 56-7 worse than Clemson, but just like Arkansas is not, but
56-3 worse than Auburn.
But they may be 42-10 better.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, at that point, you're just splitting hairs, aren't you?
That's true.
Look, I like Jake Bentley a lot. I think he's a winner. I'm pulling for him. I just think he's a cool customer, and I think he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I just don't know that South Carolina's got the horses to make any hay. It's so funny when I think about South Carolina, their history. They've been to one SEC championship game. That was in 2010. And then they go 11 wins, 11 wins, 11 wins, and they don't represent the East with any of those teams.
The 8-5 team goes to Atlanta.
And that's the team that also beat Alabama, by the way.
Yeah.
That was not a bad team, but some things got away from them late, and then they lose the bowl game, lose the SEC championship game, and next thing you know, they got 5 losses, and they still represented the East. But I think South Carolina's on the right track. They are recruiting very, very well, and they're not recruiting, top 5 in the country well, but they're recruiting better than South Carolina has been recruiting, and that's the name of the game in the SEC. You got to have the horses, and so I think they're a team of the future. If I were South Carolina fan, I wonder, as much as I loved watching Jake Bentley play last year, I wonder if it wouldn't have been better to continue the red shirt, let him have a full 4 years then as a starter, because I don't think he's the kind of guy that's going to leave early. I think he's going to stick around. And
if you're a South Carolina fan, you'd jump off a bridge.
If what?
If you were at South Carolina.
Oh, I wouldn't have made it this far. You're right. What was that on Seinfeld where Estelle asked Frank Costanza, how old would she be if she were alive today? He said she never would have made it. And that's exactly how it'd be if I were a South Carolina fan.
Baby.
But, because look, I remember the days when South Carolina they didn't win a game. They were winless all the time. I remember Lou Holtz saying, a player asked, why don't we have names on the back of jerseys? He said, you're lucky you have numbers. South Carolina has had some really
They went 1-10 followed by 0-11.
They probably have the worst history in football in the conference. I don't think that's even debatable.
No, Vandy. Of course, they had the 50s, so I guess that's true. Yeah.
I think overall I would stack Vandy up against South Carolina and probably feel pretty confident saying Vandy's
got a Heisman winner.
Vandy?
South Carolina's got a Heisman winner.
Okay, I was about to say, boy, when did that happen?
It just misspoke.
But South Carolina's got a lot of winless seasons mixed in there.
They're bad.
But I'll say this, they got the best fan support in the conference. And maybe in the country. People were showing up in droves when they were winless. And I think South Carolina's a fun place to be. I hope they get good. I think that, again, they're one of those teams that it makes the league more fun if they're a threat. I don't know if it makes the league more fun if they are the threat, but I think it's better if they're a threat.
Well, Jake Bentley, I think he's the real deal. Just from judging by just throwing the ball, arm talent-wise. We'll see if he can stay healthy. Rico Dowdle, I thought he was pretty impressive as a freshman. He comes back as a sophomore this year. He had 764 yards. Deebo Samuel, I think, is probably as athletic and dynamic maybe as pretty much any receiver in the SEC. I don't know if he'll have the numbers to back that up, but just as from a physical standpoint, I think he's very impressive. Defensively, they got to get a lot better. They struggled last year. Will Muschamp made a difference, but they got to reverse the numbers. They gave up 203 yards rushing. They had 134 yards rushing. If you can reverse those this year, hey, you're cooking with gasoline then.
Boy, that sounds awful. Why would I cook with gasoline?
It's quick. 20 points, scored 26.
Memo to self, don't go eat at Andy's house.
That's right. A little lighter fluid on the charcoal? What are you cooking with?
Not gasoline.
No, yeah. Plus 7 turnover margin. That's good. That's something you can build
Got to
around.
continue that. I mean, and frankly, South Carolina's a lot like Arkansas. They're going to need some bounces to beat some of these teams.
Oh, absolutely.
But they are playing the difference between South Carolina and Arkansas. South Carolina's in the East, and I mean, South Carolina's got as good a shot at just about anybody. I mean, I feel like Florida's better. I feel like Georgia's better. But South Carolina is right there for that third spot, if you ask me. And the team I think that's fighting for that third spot with them may be Kentucky. So, hey, it's out there for South Carolina to go get. I'll tell you that. And they avoid Alabama this year. They avoid Auburn this year. I believe they avoid LSU. Do they not?
They do.
So their West opponents are
their
Texas
West
A&M?
opponents are Texas A&M and Arkansas.
And Arkansas. Two winnable games. If you're able to win those two, you're able to beat Vandy, you're able to beat a Kentucky. I think you'll beat Tennessee. Your non-conference is manageable. You do have Clemson on the backside. That's probably a loss. But you got NC State on the front end. Hey, look, I commend them for playing two tough teams, and both from the ACC. But I think you can beat South Carolina. I know a lot of people, NC State, I know a lot of people, that's their trendy pick. But I'd like South Carolina to win that game. And then they've got two nobodies mixed in there. Look, this is a 7-8 win team too. And that's not bad. I mean, that'd be great.
Tell me if they're going to be favored. NC State neutral site.
Not favored. No, they'll be the underdog.
At Missouri.
They'll be favored.
Kentucky at home.
Favored.
La Tech.
Favored.
At Texas A&M.
Underdog.
Arkansas at home.
Favored.
At Tennessee.
I'm going to go on a limb and say favored because I just think Tennessee's going to be so bad this year. I just think Tennessee's going to be bad.
Vandy at home.
Favored.
At Georgia.
Underdog.
Florida at home.
I'm going to say that's a pick 'em. I mean, really, that's a tough one.
Wofford favored. Clemson, they'll be underdog.
They'll be a big underdog. Where's that game at Clemson? Is that game in South Carolina?
Yeah, it's at home.
I don't care where it is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But look, I think this is a 7-8 win team. Here's the problem. We're getting into these predictions, and I feel like I've said everybody's a 7-8 win team, and they can't all be 7-8 win teams.
No.
And I'm an admitted SEC homer. I am predicting that just about every SEC team beats the good non-conference teams that they play at the beginning of the season. You know, Auburn and Clemson and Alabama, FSU, and Florida, Michigan. I keep in my mind, I can't predict a loss for any of those teams. You know, LSU, BYU, and NC State. South Carolina is one of those games where a lot of people are predicting NC State to do some big things in the ACC. They've got a great defensive line. But I just like I like Jake Bentley so much. I'm going to pull for him, so I'm not going to choose against him.
Well, South Carolina and Arkansas are pretty much kind of balancing out. They're the same, I think, about the same place on either side. Who has the better chance to win 8 games?
South Carolina, because they play in the East. I think that's what separates them. They both. Now, I'll say this, though. Arkansas makes up for that by only having one tough non-conference game. I think South Carolina, with NC State on the front side and Clemson on the back side, that makes it a lot tougher for them to have two pretty strong teams on their schedule. But Arkansas's got Alabama and Auburn and LSU, and South Carolina avoids all three of them.
Let's go to the phone line.
Okay, well, let's do it. Caller, you're on there. Go ahead.
This is Brian.
Hey, Brian. How you doing?
28 more days to some high school football.
All right. Looking forward to it, man.
Damon Reeltown play August the 31st.
August 31st, wow.
Got it on my calendar.
Will you be there for that?
Going 15-0 this year.
Who is that?
Alabama.
You know, Brian, I get the feeling you predict that every year, though. Still with me?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for calling in, buddy. All right. I guess, hey,
no
look,
Bram tonight.
He's like...
been raining.
Did I stutter? I said it just the way I wanted to say it.
It is pretty, honestly and sadly, for me at least, that's not
really that crazy. I mean, he hadn't been that far off. No. I remember, look, he did predict Alabama to go 14-0 when they beat Texas for the national championship. He predicted early in the season, and everybody, I remember everybody saying, you're being a little nutty. And I think he even said Alabama will beat Texas for the national championship. I think so.
The savant.
Yeah, of course, then we've had, 8 years where I'm not sure how many of them he's got right, but whatever.
Whatever. Up against the break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll come back. We'll finish out talking about the South Carolina Gamecocks. Don't go anywhere. More to come right after this.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At US AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, US AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the US AmeriBank difference. US AmeriBank, banking on values. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare Centricon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
A1 Four Seasons, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, is Central Alabama's Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer. With the summer months approaching, the temperatures are rising, and so will your power bill if you don't have one of the latest 410A heat pumps. With R22 Freon prices on the rise, now is the time to make the switch to a new, more efficient unit that will save you hundreds of dollars on your yearly power bill. Call A1 Four Seasons at 256-234-4457.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
Ask what makes it the best 3 Series ever, and we'll tell you it has more advanced suspension and steering, or even more control of the road. And it's near perfectly balanced to put performance first. But ask if we're aware the competition mimics us just to keep up? No comment. The BMW 3 Series.
Visit BMW of Columbus on Whittlesey Boulevard or shop bmwofcolumbus.com.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. True or false, Luke? Will Muschamp is capable of getting South Carolina to the SEC championship game. There is no time limit on that question.
True. I mean, that's painful to say. It's only true because.
Why would you say it was true?
Because the East is so bad. If I had any confidence in somebody from the East, then I would say false. I mean, if there was just one coach that I had a boatload of confidence in, and even Jim McElwain, who's 2 for 2 in SEC championship game trips, I think part of it is just because that division has been so bad. So yeah, I'm going to say it's true, and especially maybe not so much this year. But you think about 2018, I don't think South Carolina plays Auburn or Alabama in 18 either. And Jake Bentley will be a junior. The running back will be a junior. And the recruiting's been pretty good. I think South Carolina could be a real threat in 18 to make it to Atlanta. Don't think they're a threat to win the SEC title. I think they're a threat to make it to Atlanta.
Now that's all the question asked. Fill in the blank. The most important game on USC's schedule is blank.
Well, might be Texas A&M too. That A&M game is a swing game for a lot of folks. But I'm going to say it's NC State Because if they beat NC State, I think that they are in for a nice season. And I think that that's going to be the confidence builder they need. You could dream big and say Clemson, but it's not Clemson. They're not beating Clemson. They don't have the manpower to beat Clemson. But they do have the manpower to beat NC State. That would be a very nice win. People are buying into the Wolfpack, and this would make people look a lot harder at the Gamecocks.
And if you win that game, you feel really good about going to Missouri, Kentucky, La Tech. You could be 4-0 heading to Texas A&M. And all of a sudden,
that game,
of course, that's the biggest game of the season.
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, if you win that game, Arkansas is possible, Tennessee's possible, Vandy's possible, at Georgia. I mean,
you're talking about potentially 8-0 headed to Georgia?
Can you believe that?
I mean, we're dreaming big here, but
that would, what I mean, if you're a Gamecock fan, that's what you're thinking. I mean, I'm sure that's what you've convinced yourself is possible. Over under 1,000 yards rushing for Rico Dowdle.
I'm going to say over, but just barely. He's not going to have a magical year, but I think with Jake Bentley back there, it gives him enough of a passing threat that it may open up some running lanes.
Only 133 carries last year, so
I mean,
5.7 yards a carry.
Pretty strong cat. I like him. Let's go for it. Whatever.
So you like it?
And I'm not really getting judged on these answers, so yeah.
Well, there will be a test at the end. Over. You like the over?
I do.
Okay.
Are you keeping up with these answers?
Absolutely. Okay. They are going into the computer.
Okay.
What's the chances Jake Bentley leaves Columbia as the all-time leading passer? 9,953 yards. Todd Ellis is the leading.
And Bentley only had like 1,600 last year?
1,420.
Okay, 1,420. Yeah, he's got to have a lot of
yards. He's got to stay 3 years more, and he's got to have really good 3 years.
Just about 3,000 per.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, he can do that.
What's the chances?
I'm going to say 60%.
Wow, okay. Word. What's the word for having a chicken as the team's mascot?
Hilarious. It's awesome. You can't look. You feel guilty saying South Carolina Gamecocks sometimes. Like
there's
you're
a
like,
rooster
I don't know.
And a chicken and a hen.
Yeah,
something's missing.
Something's missing. All right. Look, it's also kind of funny because it'd be like a team being named the Pit Bulls in a way because it's named after an illegal fighting animal.
Okay. Yeah.
But I get it.
So you're going the Little Jerry route here.
I'm going the Little Jerry route.
Little Jerry Seinfeld. The crowing, that is not.
You know what? It's unique.
Let
me tell you what they do. If they get a rooster to swoop down like Auburn does that eagle, there's a great story.
Throw him out there in the middle.
A lot of the local LX City people probably know this story, and I won't say her name, but she went to the Auburn-Oregon National Championship game where Auburn had one of the eagles swoop down and land on the field. And as it was doing that, as soon as it landed, she said, "Let's see y'all teach a duck to do that," to the Oregon fans. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good line.
That is pretty good. What will the Gamecocks record be in 2017?
7-6, 8-5. I mean, I just feel like the whole league's going to do that.
That can't happen.
I know it can't, but I'm going to be right on some of them.
So yeah, well, this is true. So 7-6 or 8-5.
7-6/8-5 because I think the swing game may be the game where Arkansas and South Carolina play each other. No. I'm not ready to make that prediction yet.
Now that's interesting. So that game one of them will go 7, one of them will go 8.
One of them goes to the Blockbuster Bowl. That doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, that'll be fun. Up against another break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Right after this.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Whether it's a dream house or corporate real estate, Concrete has the skill, expertise, and talent to exceed your expectations. Trust Concrete to build a foundation for your future. Our work ethic and dedication are always in keeping the competition on their toes. We specialize in residential and commercial development in the Coosa, Talladega, and Shelby County areas. Call us today for your next project, 256-245-4211, or check us out on the web at con-crete.com.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
Summertime means savings time during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Save over $8,200 on a great selection of loaded new 2017 Chrysler 200 Limiteds. Was $25,705, now $17,500. Need a truck? Bice has new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Express 4x2s for $299 a month.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
The conversations we have off air. I do find it a little ironic this segment is brought to you by the Russell Do-It Center, but whatever. I got to read this.
Well, go ahead.
And this in the very, very obvious department. Hugh Freeze's charity that he has, the Freeze Foundation, they're facing an uncertain future. The Freeze Foundation helps orphans and needy children around the world. And as it said, it faces an uncertain future and has already taken down its Twitter account and website, according to USA Today, based on what Hugh Freeze what has happened to him recently in his resignation. Alice Blackman, the executive director of the Freeze Foundation, says the charity will eventually carry on in its mission to help orphans and other needy children. And this is her quote. Coach Freeze, the man that I know, is just completely genuine, has a pure heart of gold for our mission, which is helping orphans and needy children. So that's where he is. That's the same person today, regardless of what happened. You know, look, I get it. I think, he may be a bad person that has a good charity, but I don't think you can go heart of gold with Hugh Freeze right now. You're not selling anybody this is a genuine man. I mean, forget the genuine part. If you want to say, look, he's a bad guy that's doing a pretty good thing, I can buy that, okay? There are a lot of people that have made a lot of money stepping over other people that still give back to charity, okay? I get it. But Hugh Freeze is not a genuine dude, so let's
I'm sure he's
cut
been
that
genuine
out.
with her. I mean, who
knows?
Dave? in those dealings. But yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, and nobody's 100% bad. I mean, I'm sure there are some redeeming qualities of Hugh Freeze.
And people do make mistakes. What Hugh Freeze has done is not make a mistake. When you paint a persona that you are holier than thou all the time, and that you build your career on a platform of Christianity, you can't call an escort service.
I agree.
It just doesn't work. I'm sorry, that's one of the things you have to give up. If you want, but if you're Lane Kiffin and you've never said, hey, man, I usually don't go to church because I'm hungover, then that's fine. If you do that, you go that route, nobody's surprised. We get it. We understand it. I'm not saying it's right. We just get it. But Hugh Freeze has built his whole career on a platform of Christianity. So you don't get to do those things. You have to give some things up. That's how it works.
I agree.
The world hates a hypocrite.
Absolutely. And they should, because it's one of the worst things. I mean, like you said, I mean, you can't set yourself up to be one thing and then do what I say, not what I do. I mean, you know, it doesn't.
And everybody's had a hypocritical moment. I want to be clear about that. We're all hypocrites to some degree. But the degree of his hypocrisy is blowing everybody else's hypocrisy out of the water.
It is. It's staggering. But
do we measure hypocrisy in degrees? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Not his. I don't know what you measure his size, but the degree isn't big enough. Light years or something. I don't know. Let's do a little who you got. We got a few. We got
a few sane moments left.
We have a phone call. I'm sorry. Let's go to the phone.
Caller, you're on there. Go ahead.
Hey, War Down Eagle, how y'all doing?
Oh, just perfect. How about you?
Don't sound like the one on the right's doing too well. Anyway, you know, I miss Brett and Randy. I have to say that. I really do. But y'all doing a fine job, as always. Anyway,
well, they're not dead.
Don't put Hugh Freeze down so bad. Hey, I know he's just human. I'm not taking up for the man, but I promise you this. There's something in Saban's damn closet that ain't come out yet. I mean, I get tired of this about Hugh Freeze.
How are you going to compare Nick Saban to Hugh Freeze right now? The man who has just proven himself to be as phony as anybody can be.
I ain't no phony to me. I think he's had a hell of a damn season down there. I think he's done well.
He's been an okay football coach.
I'm not talking about what else is going on.
Oh.
I think he has really done well with his team.
He's done okay. He hadn't gone to Atlanta for the SEC championship game.
By no means. But I'm just saying, hey, I ain't seen the proof in the pudding yet. Hey, let them play the calls to me and let me determine it then. I don't know if I buy that story or not.
Well, let me tell you this. He resigned, and he's not getting a buyout.
I understand what went down. But look what was already on him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Look what was already going on since Laramie Tunsil showed his butt NFL draft night. I mean, it's been going on. This is nothing new. So, I mean, you know, I cannot sit down and, hey, I'll tell you how I feel. I would take him as a coach over Gus Malzahn, and I'm an Auburn fan in a heartbeat. Gus should have been gone 3 years ago. You know, I say what I think, like y'all do. Just because I'm an Auburn fan, I mean, I'm pleased with everything either. Even the athletic director, he should have been already gone. I mean, there's just a lot going on everywhere. Everybody does stuff. It's just not Hugh Freeze, you know?
No, and look, I've had no problem saying everybody does. Everybody's got problems. Everybody makes mistakes, quote unquote. But not everybody paints themselves as being at the right hand of God and then is calling an escort service.
That's right, and I understand that part. I'm very disappointed in that. I understand that part of it. I really do. But he is a human being.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then everybody can use that excuse for everything.
You know, there's a lot of things a man will do. I mean, you know that.
Yeah, I know it, but again, look, I'm not saying people don't make mistakes. What he did isn't a mistake, and what he is paying for.
Well, right. Hey, you don't do that anyway in my book. I mean, that's just my belief.
Well, listen, we appreciate the phone call, and thank you for watching.
Well, I appreciate it. I just want to say, you know, You know, there's other people out there that's doing the same thing, Luke. You're going to find out. You're going to find that out.
Listen, I'm not, I think you're misunderstanding me. I understand that a lot of people have been in this same position.
I'm not perfect by no means. And I make mistakes, but it kind of caught me off guard a minute ago the way you just put him down and nailed him down. I mean,
because he deserves it.
He's done wrong. I know that. Anybody in their right mind knows, but I do know that he has been great for Ole Miss. I mean, he has been.
Let me tell you that in the end, he's not going to be great for Ole Miss, because when they lose all these scholarships and they can't go to a bowl game for a few years, they're going to wish that they had never heard the name Hugh Freeze.
I think they will. I mean, I really do. I think they'll give it all they got. I think them boys really want to play, and it's not the boys' fault.
Again, it's not their fault, but I'll say this for them, that some of the guys on that team, if some of the allegations are true about his NCAA improprieties, then there's some kids on that team who knew exactly what he was doing. And
they have. We'll find out, won't we?
We certainly will.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But all I'm saying is, it just got to me, and all I'm saying, they are other coaches is doing that and worse. It just has been known.
Well, when it gets known, we'll certainly talk about it.
Well, I'm sure it will be. That's my point. I mean, you know, it's just, I just don't want nobody to think it. I mean, I wouldn't say what you did, because I know there is things going on with all these coaches. I mean, it just hasn't hit the surface, but it will.
Well, I tell you this, if it does hit the surface...
Well, you know I'm right.
If it does hit the surface, I promise you either Andy and I or Randy and Brett will talk about it.
Well, I really appreciate Andy over there. He does a great job hosting the show. I want to let him know that.
He does. We need to get his name on the marquee. I'm totally with you on that.
And get Andy Staples back on. I miss him.
Yeah, he's good. We had Andy Staples on? I like that.
I mean, we used to.
All right. Well, we'll get him back.
It started. I've been watching the show, and I always like to hear Brett and Randy really get revved up.
It doesn't take much to rev Brett up.
Well, you know, it just adds fuel to the fire to the show. I just enjoy it. Well, look, I miss James from Opelika. I hope he's listening. I wish he'd call in.
Hey, James is one of my all-time favorites. I hope I get to talk to him again.
I know. He'll be calling in. We ain't got many more days. What, about 39?
Yo, somewhere in that neighborhood. Hey, look, James.
He'll be calling. I can't wait to hear from him. Well, y'all take care, and I'll talk to y'all next week.
Thank you, dear.
Thank y'all.
Bye-bye.
Up against the break. Don't go anywhere. A couple more segments of Sportz Blitz left in the show, right? Join us when we come back. Who knows what'll happen? We'll be back right after this.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
Lakeside Marina and Watercraft Rentals have spring fever and are happy to announce that Bennington is back. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek is now Lake Martin's Bennington pontoon dealer with all models of Bennington pontoons that deliver speed, power, and stability with their elliptical sport packages and best-in-class styling and luxury. See the full line now for best selection as well as the all-new personal watercraft from Kawasaki. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek, #1 for a reason. Lakeside Marina is also your authorized Easy Go kart dealer for Lake Martin.
Hi?
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
Whether it's a walk-off home run, a game-winning touchdown, or a buzzer beater, make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup. Located in downtown Sylacauga and a short drive from Highway 280, Jay's has the food you're looking for. Whether it's wings, fingers, burgers, or salads, they have it all. Come bring your family for a great meal, come hang out with your friends for the big game, or call them at 256-207-0700 to place your order. Make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup.
A couple more segments in the program this evening. We're going to do a quick one right here, take a break, and then we're going to finish it out with Wes Mitchell from GamecockCentral.com to give us an update on what's going on with the South Carolina Gamecocks and what he thinks they'll do in the 2017 season. Got a little enough time for a little Who You Got.
Okay.
Now, Hardee's steak biscuit or gravy biscuit?
Is there a D option?
I
don't even want to go to C. I want to go to D.
Can you put the gravy on the steak biscuit?
I'm sorry. I used to really like steak biscuits, and I've never really dug the gravy biscuits.
Why?
I like Hardee's. I like the cinnamon raisin. I'm more of a sweets in the morning guy.
Wow.
Like I'd rather have a slice of cherry pie or a big helping of peach cobbler for breakfast than I would a steak biscuit or a gravy biscuit.
Really?
Yeah.
What about eating them at
That's
night?
probably why I'm headed straight for diabetes land, but that's okay.
That's okay. Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone?
Well, only one of them was governor, so I'm going to go Schwarzenegger. Stallone, I don't know. I hate Stallone's new commercial, that Be Bold, No Be Bolder thing, where the guy tells the guy to put the steak on his eye, the guy throws it on the grill. I hate that commercial. I'm going to go with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I mean, Predator's great. Terminator.
Yeah, Predator is great. I Ain't Got Time to Bleed.
Jesse Ventura.
I know it was Jesse Ventura, but the line still comes from the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
And Jesse Ventura was in the movie.
Dug in deeper than an Alabama tick.
I like it. I liked it all.
Leonard Skinner or the Allman Brothers?
I mean, the tiebreaker is Sweet Home Alabama, right?
I think that's probably true. Although the Allman Brothers had a lot of really great.
They were both. That's old school dirty rock. I like it.
This is the one that is off the board a little bit.
Okay, do it.
Marion Cunningham or June Cleaver?
You know what? I saw that earlier, and this is an easy one for me. June Cleaver, because she's.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why I agree with you, but go ahead.
There's just something about like the clean cutness of her, and then.
That's exactly.
Hey, June. I like it.
Well, it's June Cleaver simply because she spoke jive in Airplane.
And also, she was, I think in her show, she was younger. Marion Cunningham was a little older in her show.
She was.
Right? June Cleaver's not bad looking.
I agree.
I never looked at
Chump don't want to get in.
Mrs. C and thought,
Say Anything or The Sure Thing?
Say Anything. That one's pretty easy.
I don't know. I mean, outside the song
Say Anything's
and the boombox.
But I mean, that's so iconic that everybody knows exactly what you mean as soon as you do it.
It's true, but nobody remembers what the movie's about. Sure Thing. I mean, every guy has had that.
Yeah.
I mean, it would travel across the country, in the hopes.
Of something happening. Of meeting June Cleaver.
Of a picture, yeah. We're going off board. All right, here's a rapid fire, and we'll close it out, this segment. Michigan or Michigan State?
In terms of Michigan.
Florida State?
Florida. I think they got better long-term potential overall as an athletic program.
North Carolina State?
North Carolina State, because I think something's going to have to happen with that academic scandal at North Carolina. It has to.
Colorado State?
Oh, Colorado. That's not it. Come on.
Mississippi or Mississippi State?
Mississippi State right now. I would have gone Ole Miss a couple years ago.
Virginia or Virginia Tech?
That's Virginia.
I like Virginia.
I like their colors. I like they had a.
You like their colors, but you hate Auburn, huh?
Well, but their colors are a little different. They're more.
Yeah, they're a lot different.
I remember. I also remember the Moore to Moore connection. They had Herman Moore and Sean Moore. I really liked Virginia back then. They're kind of a fun. They seem like a fun program. Also, had a cousin who went to Virginia. So.
Oregon State.
Well, that's pretty easy, I think. I
Ducks
guess
or
Oregon.
Beavers?
Well, really, I would say Oregon State, because their baseball program's so dominant generally. I don't know.
Mike Riley was there for him.
Mike Riley was there, and he did okay. I'm going to tell you something. Nebraska's a surprise team. I think.
No, there'll never be anything.
Well, look, man, it's tough to recruit to Arkansas. It's tough to recruit to Nebraska.
It didn't used to be.
Well, because they were also getting guys who Lawrence Phillips didn't exactly have the most pristine background.
No, he did not. Well, we're going to leave you right now. We're going to take a break, but we'll go ahead and say goodbye because we're going to leave you with this interview with Wes Mitchell. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Keep those phone calls coming, 256.
From most of your second favorite tandem for Sportz Blitz.
From the B team, Luke Robinson and Andy Graham. So long for now. We'll talk again soon.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
Yamaha is beating the field in just about every category of motorsport products, offering unbelievable performance, handling, features, technology, and at prices that are blowing everyone's mind, especially the competition. Visit Twin City Yamaha on Stage Road in Auburn.
Hi, this is Scott Tway with Twin Cities Yamaha in Auburn. Isn't it about time to put some fun back in your life? Call us and see what we mean. 334-821-0439 or on the web at www.twincitiesyamaha.com.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Your comfort is our #1 concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's train dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our #1 concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Hello, I'm Harvey B. Campbell Jr., the manager and founding partner of Alabama Consumer Law, LLC. We are a law firm dedicated to helping you, the consumer, from all kind of debt issues. We can handle Chapter 13s, Chapter 7s, and Chapter 12s, and Chapter 11s if you need help.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. We are a debt relief agency. We are a private company. We are not associated with any state or federal government agency.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you. Gotta get to Gills. Selection and price. Gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
This segment.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live on this Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Continuing our preview of the South Carolina Gamecocks, we are going to go to the phone line and welcome in Wes Mitchell, who is the covers football and recruiting for GamecockCentral.com with the Rivals affiliation. Wes, really appreciate you taking some time for us this evening.
Absolutely. Glad to be on anytime. How's it going over that way?
Doing really well. We're just really getting ready for college football. Of course, SEC Media Days in our rearview mirror. I guess kind of off topic a little bit, but it is the talk of the SEC. What in the world do you make of Ole Miss and Hugh Freeze?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put into perspective, I think. I think most of us, or at least I did, I thought eventually the NCAA stuff was going to catch up to him and probably be, his demise there. But just, absolutely, almost ironic that it was just something else that got him, and obviously kind of a lack of attention to detail, and the fact that, I guess from what I've read, he actually could have redacted the numbers that he called, but neglected to do so. And that ultimately is what sort of was the smoking gun that caught him. So, I think just when you talk about the term, lack of institutional control, to me, you could probably put a picture of Hugh Freeze, in the dictionary beside that, just based on all the reports that I've read out there,
Absolutely. Just a total mess in Oxford right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Will Muschamp takes over there in Columbia last year, 6-7, after a 3-9 season. Just your evaluation of Will Muschamp and the Gamecocks, where they are as a program right now.
Yeah, I think last season was a really positive step forward. Obviously, they would love to have that bowl game back and be able to say they won 7 games and had a winning season, but doubled their win total. Found their quarterback, I think, for the foreseeable future, and Jake Bentley. Kind of interesting to me is that Steve Spurrier was here and came in, obviously known for his offense, and when they were winning 11 games a year, did it primarily by defense. And now you have Will Muschamp, who comes in, clearly a defensive-minded guy. His offense and lack of a quarterback was obviously his downfall at Florida. And, you look on paper with what they have coming back. They found their quarterback, like I said, and really have a stable of offensive targets at running back, receiver, and tight end. So this is a team that probably, at least early in the year, is going to have to win some games with their offense. So just kind of interesting how it's played out so far, which obviously, anytime you're taking over a program, I think we got to remember this is something that Muschamp mentioned at SEC Media Days. It was, what can my guys do? And, you have to build your scheme. You have to build your game plan around the guys you have on campus. So I think that's going to be an interesting sort of storyline or transition to watch is can Muschamp really go out there and lean on this offense? I think that's what they're going to have to do.
Well, you mentioned Jake Bentley, a guy that really was supposed to be a high school senior last year, comes in in the middle of the season and I think plays better than most people. I think everybody understood that he was a very talented guy, but didn't expect him to play really as well as he did. When you look at him, what do you think the ceiling is for a guy like Jake Bentley?
Man, I tell you, I don't want to be one of those guys that just sounds like they're exaggerating, but this kid, to me, is absolutely special. Having an opportunity to see him week in and week out, I don't know if the people who don't necessarily get to see him every week realize just how good this kid is, because a lot of times, you can look at his stats, but a lot of times he's making those throws under duress. He's making a lot of these throws where at times the receiver is covered and he just puts the ball in a spot that only his receiver can go get it. So I think if you just see the highlights or maybe see him once or twice a season, you don't quite get the full perspective of how good this kid is. And like you said, doing it as a true freshman, when camp started last year and, 3-4 weeks went by, we were already starting to hear, this kid is special, but it's just so far behind as far as behind the other guys on learning the offense because Brandon McElwain, the other freshman from last year, got to go through spring practice. Bentley did. Perry Orrick had been on campus for 5 years. So it's kind of like, okay, it's a matter of when, other than if, Bentley will ultimately be this team's quarterback. And I think when they started 2 and 4, they really just decided, okay, this season isn't going anywhere. Let's just give the guy a shot. And you know what? He took it and ran with it. And even more importantly, I think you go from this being, where Jake Bentley's this team's quarterback at the end of last year to this offseason, Jake Bentley sort of taking on that role of being this team's leader. Those same people that were last year saying, this kid's going to be special are saying he's taking it to another level this offseason. And I think you look at the offense and Jake Bentley, the defense, and Sky Moore, the returning linebacker, those two guys have emerged as sort of the leaders on their respective side of the ball.
Yeah, Will Muschamp talked about this team being a young team at SEC Media Days. Can you give us some names maybe or some breakout players you think might be possible in 2017 offensively and defensively?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Rico Daddle, the running back, sort of introduced himself as a freshman last year. They actually have a transfer at running back named Tyson Williams. He was at North Carolina before. He's a Palmetto State native. He's obviously moved back home, sat out last year after the transfer for NCAA rule. He's a name that I think will be sort of a household name by the end of the year. He and Daddle will probably just split carries. That'll be their 1-2 punch at running back. Debo Samuel sort of is a known guy at receiver, but I think Brian Edwards, who played well as a true freshman last year, he should be in line for a big year. Everybody knows Hayden Hurst at tight end, but they've got some other guys. Keel Pollard had a great spring there. So on offense, if you look at the skill positions, I think they've gone from having some pretty good starters last year to feeling like they've got some depth at those skill positions. On defense, it's almost like they're in the position where they were offensively last year. I think they have some guys that can play in those starting roles. Sky Moore, Bryson Allen Williams, T.J. Brunson's another linebacker that's had a good offseason. They're probably fine first 11, but I think you start to look behind them, and they're going to need guys to step up. Keyshawn Nixon, who's a junior college transfer, they're still waiting for him to arrive on campus. They're going to need him to step up and play in the secondary. Brad Johnson is a highly recruited freshman, sort of defensive end buck position. It's like their hybrid spot, defensive end linebacker. They're going to need him to play right away. They have one guy at that position that's kind of proven past him, just a lot of unproven guys. So Brad Johnson is a name, I think, as a true freshman that will probably be able to sort of create a little bit of buzz for himself as the year goes on. So defensively, the big story really at all three levels is, can these younger guys prove they can come in and, play those sort of 12, 15, 18 snaps a game to give those starters a rest. And obviously we all know injuries are going to hit you at some point. So that's going to be another thing. When these other guys get called on, are they ready to answer the call?
Well, in your estimation, looking at this team, looking at the schedule they'll be facing this year, what do you think would be a really good season for South Carolina?
Well, I kind of look at it like this. I think this will be a better football team than last year. I don't know how much that will necessarily be reflected in the actual win-loss record, if that makes any sense. It's a little bit more difficult schedule. If you look at it as far as out-of-conference games, obviously Clemson is still on there, but they replaced ECU with NC State. NC State getting a lot of buzz here locally in the Carolinas this offseason. They have a veteran team coming back. That's a neutral site game for South Carolina. that they open the season with. That's a tough game. So obviously, South Carolina went 3-1 out of conference last year with a loss to Clemson. So the only way to improve your out of conference record from this year is to go 4-0, which obviously if they lose to NC State, that sort of puts them off of that pace that they were on last year when they won 6 regular season games. I think 7 wins with this group would actually be a really good season. Now, is that going to grab national headlines? Obviously not. But just the more you learn about this program here in Columbia, you realize it's kind of been a complete rebuild job. They've had to rebuild it at just about every position. They've made strides at a lot of positions. 7 wins, get to a bowl, maybe win a bowl, and have a shot at getting to 8 with a bowl win. I think would be a sign of progress, a successful year. And ultimately, it's going to come down to the lines of scrimmage, man. I mean, if they can get decent play on the offensive and defensive line, those skill players can take over. If they get knocked around up front,